Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Voyager Class Gamer Edition Optimus Prime from the Transformers Studio series from Hasbro. So it seems that they have fully exhausted the Michael Bay movies and the 1986 animated classic Transformers the movie and have now delved into the world of video games, starting with Transformers War for Cybertron, and here we have Optimus Prime. Really nice artwork here on the front of the box. Kind of the same image but mirror imposed over here on the side. I do really like the look though. You have this nice kind of silvery metal for all the kind of numbering in the background here. I think that looks pretty sharp. Little gamepad there, which is kind of fun. Over here on this side we have a bit of artwork here of Optimus Prime. And then we have the, again, the little D-pad here instead of the Autobot symbol, which is kind of funny. I don't know why, but this kind of just reminds me of Girl Scout cookies. I don't know. That's where my head's at, I guess. But yeah, we're in the plastic-free packaging still, so you have the very tiny little window here with the figure inside, and you can see the piece of twine keeping him in place. Spinning it around to the back, we have some product shots of the robot mode and the vehicle mode, and it also shows that the Matrix is included as well and can store in his chest. So pretty cool. I'm excited for this one. I really liked this game. It's been a long time since I've played it, but I remember having, a lot of fond memories playing it. And I really like these designs. I remember the original Deluxe was very cool, but very hard to transform as far as I can remember. So I'm hoping this one's a little bit easier to do. And also I just feel like the scale is bigger. He was a Deluxe before, but I always felt like he should have been bigger. So now we have him in Voyager class, which is very neat. So going to go ahead, get him out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. Here is Prime with the backdrop that is included in the box. He fits in the space pretty well. If we go ahead and move him off to the side just so we can see the picture, I really don't remember what this scene is from the game, but I swear we just saw something like this in the most recent Rise of the Beast trailer. I won't say any spoilers in case you haven't seen it yet, but definitely check out that trailer. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I do not remember what this scene is from the game, but it's obviously something on Cybertron. Looks pretty cool, and he does fit well in the space. So here is Prime out of the packaging. He looks great. I love this design. I've always loved this design, and I think scaling him up to a Voyager was definitely the right call. I liked the Deluxe from back in the day, but that one was, I think, just a little too small, and also the transformation was very difficult. There were a lot of panels and fiddly pieces, and there were a lot of clearance issues. I always felt like I had a hard time transforming him. Not really anything like that going on with this guy, so I'm pretty excited about it, but I just love this design. I mean, he is a bulky bruiser. He is ready for a fight, and he's probably going to get through whatever he needs to. I mean, he is just a stocky dude. I think they did a pretty good job on the back, not really much kibble. Backpack compresses pretty nicely. That's not really in the way of anything. The legs are a bit of a mess back here with these wheel pieces, but it could be worse. At least they're kind of tucked away as much as they can be, and it doesn't really get in the way of anything. But yeah, he looks good. I mean, paint applications are sharp. I love the head sculpt. I think that looks phenomenal. I love when they give him the Batman ears, the really long Batman ears. I just think that's a really cool design choice. Those eyes are painted really nicely. The silver for the head crest and the faceplate just looks really sharp. I just think that's a fantastic head sculpt, and it looks phenomenal. Got some nice silver here in the chest. Love the Autobot symbols here on the shoulders. Some more orange down here in the waist. And then you have a little bit more silver here on the shins. A little sunken back in there, so it's kind of hard to see, but it is in there. And then we're going to see some more when we get to the vehicle mode. You can see here on what will be the kind of the front fender of the vehicle mode. But yeah, really cool. I like him a lot. I think it's a really fun design, and I just think he looks really great as a Voyager. Real quick size comparison just with what I have handy here. Here is Leader Class Studio Series Scourge. And then here is a Rise of the Beasts Deluxe Cheetor. So you can see that this guy is definitely in the Voyager camp. Kind of perfectly in between the two. So let's get into articulation. The head is on a ball joint. You can look up pretty far. Look down a little bit. Even have a little bit of tilt side to side, and of course you can look side to side, no issue there. You have a spin here in the shoulder, as well as a pretty nice out to the side hinge there. You have a bicep swivel. You have maybe slightly over 90 degrees in the elbow, and then you have a wrist swivel as well. The hands don't open or anything. They're one solid piece. Now this one is going to pop off for the gimmick, which we will get to in a moment with the weapon. You do have waist swivel there. You can kick pretty far forward. It's a pretty nice kick forward. Can't really go back at all. It just kind of hits into that everything else going on and doesn't even really feel like it wants to go any further back. It kind of naturally stops. I guess it's not even really hitting into anything. I think it just naturally stops. But you can kick pretty decently out to the side. Actually, I can get this a little bit further. Yeah, really nice kick out to the side there. You do have a thigh swivel, and this is one thing I will say, his thighs are very hollow. It's kind of weird to see like just this section for the mushroom peg there is just kind of molded in, and then the rest of it is hollow. But I mean, it's on the inside, so it's not that big of a deal. You do have 90 degrees in the knee, but then those wheels kind of hit into the thighs, and then you have an ankle tilt here. Don't really have anything front to back, but you don't really need it. But yeah, he's cool. I like him. Really nice articulation. So let's get back to that gimmick. So this is going to pop off, and then he does come with a blaster, and that is just going to peg in there so that it looks like his arm transformed into the gun. And this is kind of the gimmick for this line that they're doing, and I believe all the weapons are going to be interchangeable, which is kind of cool, because if you remember in the game, you had a lot of different gun options, and you could switch back and forth. So if they give everyone a different gun and they're all interchangeable, then you can kind of have, you know, the cycling effect of the different weapons. But it's pretty cool. I like this. I think it's neat. It fits pretty seamlessly into the arm. I like the design. I think it's a very easy gimmick to utilize. If you want, you can. There's a little peg here on the side of the forearm, and there's a little spot here on his butt. If you want to peg his hand, or really his forearm and his hand, into his butt, you can, but I think that looks absolutely terrible, so I'm just going to put it off to the side. But if you wanted to display him, and you just wanted somewhere to store that so you don't lose it, that is an option. But I think it looks kind of ridiculous. I would have rather, you know, maybe put it underneath here somewhere, or even if you could kind of tuck it up underneath, but yeah, it just looks kind of silly pegged into the back there. But we'll pop that back on. Just be careful, because when I was first getting him out of the box, this came off really easily, and I kind of freaked out for a second, and then I said, oh no, wait, that's supposed to happen. So, and this one is not, you cannot pull this one off, so don't try to rip this one off and break something. You can even see here how the hinges are done differently. There's a lot more gray on this side than there is over here, because this is actually connected to this forearm. This is not. So do not try to rip this one off. It only works with the right arm. The other accessory he has is this axe. It's all right. I feel like they kind of cheaped out with the paint. Obviously, it would have been nice if these were all translucent pieces. But even if they weren't, if they could have painted the whole piece, I feel like they painted the edge to try to give it like a glowing effect, which works to varying degrees. Also, I feel like this side got a lot more paint than this side. You can tell that this is definitely darker over here and it's lighter on this side. I don't know if that's a QC thing or if that's just mine. But it's okay. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of all right. I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to use this accessory more than this. It's nice that they included it. But I would, if they were going to, like, if you couldn't make these translucent pieces, I feel like they should have at least painted this whole section. It would have looked better. But you can actually split this open so that he has kind of like a big axe piece on each side. If you like that look better, it's going to look a little weird from this side. But from this side, it looks okay. And I do appreciate that they painted the inside and not just the outside. So that way, if you open it up, you still have that effect. But I really think they should have painted these full pieces. But it does come apart into 3 sections. So you can use this to get it into his hands. So depending on, I mean, technically you could, I think you can just feed this through here. Is this too thick? This might be too thick. He can kind of hold it. It's a little thick, but if you, I think what you're meant to do, if I can get this back out now, is pop this section, and then this will fit into his hand. Now this is a tight, there we go, it's a little bit easier. Spin this around. And then you can connect this down here. So, but I mean, honestly, I feel like you don't even need that piece, because he could just hold the axe like this. I guess technically, could he hold this as a blaster? Not really. If you wanted to just kind of use it as a club, you could. I don't know. I guess I just don't understand what this piece is for. I feel like this is perfectly fine. I don't really need the axe handle to be any longer than this. But if you just want him to have a long axe, or if you wanted him to try to two-hand it, I don't know. Can he two-hand it? Can we get this to work? Probably. Yeah, you could do something like that. I don't think he needs to, but if you wanted him to, you could. But I honestly just feel like they could have just done this. And then they could have used the budget from this to paint this more, and that would have been nice. So we'll swivel this back around. So there you go. I don't know why this piece comes off. I'll be honest. I don't know what purpose that serves. Maybe it was just easier for them to make it that way. But yeah, the axe is okay. It's here. It's not bad. I definitely think this is cooler, and I'm really excited about this gimmick, how they're going to be interchangeable. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, very cool design. Really well done, in my opinion. The head sculpt, I think, is absolutely fantastic. I keep coming back to that, but it really, really looks good. So I'm going to go ahead, put all these accessories off to the side. Oh, wait, we didn't see the Matrix. We have to look at the Matrix. So we can open up the chest. I can't believe I almost forgot the Matrix. So these are just two little hinges. I just think it's funny. Like, I don't know why they made it so small. I feel like they could have made it a little bigger because this area is huge. Probably has something to do with this closing correctly, but you can pop this off of here. It just pegs in. You can see there's a peg right there, and there's a peg hole on the back. And honestly, it looks pretty good. I mean, mine has kind of an extra little piece of plastic there. Oh, and of course well, no, it's not painted there. Oh, well. The paint we do get, though, I think looks pretty sharp. I think the blue and the gold really look nice. Mine just had like something over there that got painted into it, but I can probably touch that up. But yeah, I really like the job they did with this. It's a nice design. It's tiny. It definitely looks tiny, and he can't really hold it because his hands don't open. Now I'm second guessing this. The hands don't open. No, they're solid. Yeah, they're solid. So that's a bummer. I feel like it, they should have been able to hold it, but it does look nice. It's painted nicely, and it pops in the chest very simply, and then you just close it back up, and you'll probably just forget about it. But it's neat that it's there. Now let's go ahead and let's get into the transformation. Alright, so we're going to start off the transformation by actually grabbing these two red pieces here and just pulling them straight out away from the body, like so. So if you just want them to be ridiculously wide, I guess you could do that. We're going to come to this section here on the back, pop this down, and then this is actually going to rotate 180 degrees. There's a mushroom peg right there, and then we can just kind of leave this up like this. These pieces are going to rotate around, and there's actually like a little track in here, so they will come to a logical stopping point. Let me see if I can zoom in here. So you can kind of see like where this corner is. It's going to come down and fill that, and then that's just where it's naturally going to stop. So you can't go any further than that. We're going to bring the arm all the way out like that. Let me zoom back out here. So spin this around and then pop this down like this. And then we are going to take this whole section, the chest area, and this is going to rotate like this. And then that'll kind of click into place like so. And then you just kind of push the head back as far as it'll go. And then this just kind of comes down here. You don't have to do anything with this specifically yet. I'm just going to leave it here like this. We're going to then spin the waist 180 degrees. If you have the ankles tilted, make sure you push them in so that we can then snap the legs together like so. And then you're going to bring everything up 90 degrees like this. You're going to unpeg these and bring these down about halfway. You're going to take these pieces here and flip them around until you hear a little click, like so. This section here is going to come down, and if they're not pegged together, just peg them together. They should, but sometimes they don't always. And then you can actually make sure that's together. push these down like so. And I don't know why, and I don't know if you can see this, but mine kind of has just like a bunch of like plastic dust inside the bottom of the feet. It just kind of came like that, so easy enough to get that out of there. Then we are going to take the arms and pop them back like this. Let me zoom out. And then you want to rotate them 90 degrees like this. Wait, is that right? Yes, that is correct. So bring this in and then rotate this 90 degrees, and then you'll kind of bring them together. Actually, before we do that, we need to kind of push this down and make this final. So this is going to come down, and you kind of have to go like underneath these pieces. And then there is a little tab right there, and there's a little tab right there. And these will kind of push back in now and peg into those two spots. So kind of push this in, snap that all together. Zoom out. So make sure it's snapped in up there and it's snapped in down here. And that will get the arms close enough that you can peg them together. So you want to utilize the shoulders to kind of make them go in more. And then you'll see they snap together right there like that. Now the arms are just going to hang out the back a little bit. I personally like to rotate the hands like this. The directions don't say anything, and you don't have to do it, but I just feel like it hides the fists somewhat. It doesn't really, but I just feel like having them point down, it's a little bit cleaner. Again, personal preference. You don't have to move the wrists at all if you don't want to. This is going to now drop back down, and you can see that there is a tab spot there and there, which is going to pop onto these two on the forearm. So bring this down. And then this is going to drop in, and it can be a little tight, but you can get it in there and get it to line up, and that'll click into place. And then we're pretty much done at this point. We're going to push this piece down like so, and then you actually have to rotate these up slightly. That's as far as they'll go. And then this comes around, and you can see that there's a tab spot right there, which is going to tab in here. And I think this tab right here tabs in right there. So this will come in. And I don't have this lined up perfectly, but there we go. And this does a nice job of kind of keeping this all together. So again, rotate that up and then bring this in. And tab that in and get that in there. Make sure everything's in. And I probably just don't have everything super pushed in as far as it's supposed to, but that'll do. Make sure that's in there. And there we go. There is our Gamer Edition Optimus Prime in his vehicle mode. I like it a lot. Rolls very well. You got 6 wheels, 3 on each side there. And I just think this one's super easier to transform than the first Deluxe was from back in the day. You don't have nearly as many little panels and clearance issues. Everything is pretty simple. And I've always liked this design. It's just a crazy Cybertronian, nonsense design that I love. I just think it's really cool. There's no reason a car should look like this. But this is when you don't really need, windscreens or anything, because your Ascension vehicle, you can look like this. And this isn't holding together that well. It was holding together better earlier. But, oh, maybe I don't have that in all the way. Yeah, but it's fine. You can take the gun, and you can see that there are 2 tab spots right there. And there are 2 tabs right here, so you can go ahead and pop that on. So you can mount the gun on the back. I think this looks really cool. I like that a lot. I really like the look of that on there. See, this isn't... Do I have something not turned? I feel like this isn't quite lined up. Well, I'll have to deal with it later, but you can see how I have that. It's a little askew. Anyway. I really like the look of this with the cannon on the back. Technically, you have these spots here on the axe And there are these little pegs right here, so you can also pop this on. I think that looks absolutely ridiculous, and I don't know why you do that, but if you just want to put it somewhere, you can. Alternately, you can kind of peg it into the side here, if you want to do something like that. Or if you wanted to break it up, you could kind of just put that on there, and then put this back on here. Which still looks, maybe if I open this up, will just look like a ridiculous spoiler. I mean, I still think it looks ridiculous. But you have a few options. So you can do a couple of random things here with this. But I really like the vehicle mode. I think they did a pretty great job. I think this figure is a lot of fun. I think he looks fantastic. I love that head sculpt. Really, really sharp. Paint applications throughout are pretty good. I just love what a stocky bruiser he is. Upscaling him to Voyager class was definitely the right move in my opinion. The original Deluxe was fun, but I just think he looks better as kind of a bigger, stockier Voyager. Transformation is a lot easier than the original as far as I can remember. I remember having a lot of trouble like figuring out how that one transformed, and I feel like this one's fairly intuitive and definitely not too difficult. I love this new gimmick here where the forearm can pop off and you can switch the gun on. I like that they're all going to come with a different gun and they're going to be cross-compatible. I think that's really fantastic. Yeah, I just like him a lot. I think he looks really, really good. You know, kibble on the back, not too bad. The legs are a little bad here, but it really doesn't get in the way of much. All in all, I just think this guy is a ton of fun. If I had to nitpick anything, I would say the axe is probably the least successful thing. I really don't need that extra piece on the bottom. I just think they could have done it as a little short axe like this. I do appreciate that it can flip over so you kind of have two different aesthetics for it, but they really should have at least painted these parts completely. If they couldn't have done them out of translucent plastic, that would have been my preference, but otherwise paint them completely. I understand they're going for like a hue, you know, to signify that it's glowing. At least that's what I assume they were going for, but it just doesn't really work. I just think, you know, the plan was there, but the execution just didn't really happen. And I would have loved them to be translucent plastic, but I get why they couldn't be. They should have at least been painted. But again, this isn't the accessory I care about. This is the accessory I care about. But yeah, I just love them. And just one more time, I love that head sculpt. I think it's so fun. I love when they give him the long Batman ears, and I think that's really cool. Just all in all, this guy's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking him out. I actually got this on Amazon. They're having some weird stock issues where it keeps going in and out, so check there if you're looking for them. Also, I think Big Bad Toy Store had them. A little bit of a markup there, a couple dollars more than retail, but you know, if you can't wait, that's another option. Hopefully Bumblebee and Barricade, I believe, is the other one. I keep forgetting Barricade's name for some reason, but hopefully those two are not far behind. And I think we even know what's going to be in Wave 2. I think Megatron's coming, and I think Cliff Jumper, they're doing a repaint of Bumblebee. And I forget if there's another one, but I'm having fun with this line so far. Keep them coming. I'm ready. This guy's a ton of fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.